يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
नारे तकबीर, नारे रिसालत, नारे हैदरी, हुसैनियत, हुसैनियत, यजीदियत, अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद। Now, as I was discussing yesterday, we need to study the history. History is very important. To understand Islam, to understand Ahl Bayt, to understand Quran, and to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. Quran is full of the events of history. And these events of the history, they have two directions. One direction is when Allah says that you have to learn from the past events of the people who lived before you, the people who preceded us. And right from the time immemorial when the universe was created, as I was saying yesterday. Now, there's one direction of history, is the positive understanding of history. The other one is the people who used to ridicule the message of Allah, the message of Muhammad. They used to take history in a negative sense. So that's why I was using a term yesterday, hermeneutics. When you go back home, your life has been made very simple. I mean, about 30 years ago, 25 years ago, when we were doing our doctoral research in the University of London, we didn't have any Wikipedia. It's only 16, 17 years old. So we used to go physically to the libraries. And we used to consult, for example, one item we had to research. We had to sit down on the catalog for days. And still we would come back with no result. But we were never frustrated. Non-frustration or steadfastness to explore and explore is called history, it's called research. So go back home. I mean, I'm telling you, you're growing up and you have an interest in history, but normally you are taught the history, very selective history, the medieval history, starting from Henry VIII. Am I right? They started your history. You said to me last year that I should take history as a topic, and you were referencing yesterday. Anyway, so go to this word, explore this word, hermeneutics. And hermeneutics in Islamic context. And see the ayatollahs, various ayatollahs. In Iran, since 1979, 45 years on, more than 300 PhDs they have been done in hermeneutics. The Shia Muslim interpretation of facts, of history. And please do explore this. And the current Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Iran, Hussain Mohseni, Ejaz, he has written extensively on hermeneutics. How the history is interpreted. I mean, for all those who are on the other side of the curtain and this side, those who have really studied the humanities and social sciences, they will understand the role of theory and methodology. When you explore one event of history, you apply a theory. That what theoretical reference it contains that can enhance my knowledge, my understanding of that particular incident. The second thing is methodology. That how you approach, okay? How you approach, and also you apply the presuppositions on that. So different interpretations. For example, one example. We say man kuntu mawla fahaza aliyun mawla. Rasulullah said, and he completed, and he clarified every ambiguity. Even the iota, even the modicum of ambiguity was addressed completely by Rasulullah before he disappeared from this mundane life. At the field of Ghadir. So we say, and not only we say, Allah says, Rasul says, and all those historians, even Shia, Sunni also, they say, Mawla means the leader. So the placement of this Mawla, Ali ibn Abi Talib, is exactly 100% the same as we consider Rasul Khuda. So, but our brothers, they say, I'm saying it on record, so these conversations this year, I said to the brother that they have to be on the record, not off the record. So I'm open to any discussion, I'm open to any question that can be asked to me after this. With full responsibility, I would answer that question. So obviously, the interpretation of that, Mawla, word Mawla, for example, is, but the people who make fun of these things, they belittle, they condescend that title awarded to Mawla Kainat Ali ibn Abi Talib. Not by Rasul Khuda. Because if it was only the desire of Rasul Khuda to his cousin or son-in-law, okay, we could have taken that argument for discussion. But when Allah says, Al-Yawm akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum wa raditu lakum al-Islam deena. So there is no doubt. So hermeneutics, they apply here. So we have to find that what interpretation is there. So these people who used to make fun of, there's still people they are making. They call any incident, any event recorded by Quran, running from Habil and Qabil, Harut and Marut, and Sulaiman and Nuh and Ibrahim al-Islam, all these. So Quran says they are asatirul awwaleen. There are about 9 or 10 verses, comprehensive verses of Quran, and I'll discuss from tomorrow onwards one verse or two in my every talk to make you understand that how we take asatirul awwaleen and how our brothers, they take asatirul awwaleen. Okay? So we have to discuss, yesterday we were discussing that Allahu nur samawati wal arz awwalu ma khalaqa nuri khalaqa nuri ana wali min nur wahid and afdal Muhammad and akhir kullu Muhammad. Along the same line, nur we were discussing, nur is knowledge. So Allah says, I'm alim. Allah said, I'm alim. And then obviously we say Madinatul Ilmi Waliyul Babuha. So knowledge and light, nur and ilm, they are the same things. They sometimes overlap, sometimes they integrate into themselves, sometimes they become one, sometimes they become. So it's all due to hermeneutics, how we determine these things. So go into detail in this set. So we concluded yesterday that Allah said that I am making my vicegerent on earth. And all the angels, they presented their CVs. Oh God, we are worshipping you. So look at my CV, look at my CV. So why don't you make me? I'm also made of nur. I'm also made of spiritual substance. So as we say in Surah Rahman, خلق الإنسان من صلصال كالفخار وخلق الجان من مارج من نار. So obviously, the angels were made of nur as well. So they could be, legitimately they could be good claimant of becoming the vicegerent of Allah. But Allah said, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. They said, no, this claim you are making, as I said yesterday, this is a quick recap of that. So this person you are making as the vicegerent, as lieutenant, he will be engaged in bloodshed, in fasad, in fitna. I was missing this one word yesterday. And then when Allah said, but then Iblis stood up and said, no. These angels, they are saying, they are accepting whatever you are transmitting to them, conveying to them. But I'm a maverick. I have my own way. I have worshipped you more than anyone other. After Jibreel alayhi salam, Iblis is in the recorded history. He worshipped up to me. So his claim, no, intellectually, academically, his claim wasn't bad. He had some foundation, he had some argument, he had some epistemological argument to put forward. He had empiricism behind his argument. So he could say, why don't you try me? So I'm resisting, I'm not accepting whatever you're saying. So Allah said, okay, what do you want to claim? He said, okay, you give me time. 3 things were demanded by Iblis. He said, you can kill me. But if you kill me, you are the killer. You kill all the people. You will kill all the people who are created from now onwards. So you are the creator and you are the destroyer also. So if you destroy me, either the universe will end now. So even your dream of creating Adam will be shattered. Because we understand a good thing from the bad thing, comparison. We understand Muhammad Arabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we have a parallel fitna, kullu batil, we have Abu Sufyan and Abu Lahab. We understand Mawla Kainat, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Ali ibn Abi Talib. But the best understanding comes when we discuss Muawiyah, okay, and Abu Sufyan. So for the virtue, and for the vice, they help you make understand each other in a better way. So he demanded 3 things. He said, okay, first of all, give me freedom of actions. You're not going to kill me. Give me life. Number 2, give me longevity. Number 3, give me level playing field. This term has become so notorious in the last 2 years vis-a-vis Pakistani politics. So level playing field, Allah said, okay, I'm Rahim, I'm Kareem, I'm Qadir. So here you are. Okay, accepted. Granted these 2 things. So with these 3 qualities, he said, okay, now the last thing, Allah, the 4th thing is also, please, no, I'm a leader. No, I also need a constituency to thrive, to evolve, to succeed. Allah said, okay, take your constituency, whatever you want, and from today onwards, look at the tolerance of Allah. I don't want to use this word sabr because this is for mankind. Tolerance is the word. Look at the kareemi of Allah. Look at the raham of Allah. Allah said, okay, you are against me, you are an enemy. You are against my abudiyat. Against abudiyat. So, but I give you free hand. Okay, you live, and you try whatever you want. And he said, well, I have the constituency now, I have the supporter now, and now from now onwards, you do your job and I do my job. So he claimed, and he started, and I started with that Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The biggest claim he made, apart from Surah Baqarah, there are 3 verses, Surah Baqarah. But the biggest claim is made by Satan, by Iblis, is from Surah Araf. And the verses number 16 and 17. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qala fabima aghwaytani la aq'udanna lahum siratakal mustaqim. Summa la atiyannahum min bayni aydihim wa min khalfihim. وَعَنْ إِيمَانِهِمْ وَعَنْ شَمَائِلِهِمْ وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. Now you have given free hand, longevity, constituency, and freedom of action, and level playing field. And now what I'll do is, now I'm going to oppose. So what I'll do is, all these people, you say Adam, and then from Adam onwards, and from the Nur of those 5, 12 or 14 on the vessel, which I have seen the vessel as well. So I will now make your people astray. All those who are the followers, the disciples, the adherents, the compliance. I can use so many words from the thesaurus. And all these people, you take pride that they will, inni alam malatu, tadamun you say. So you have something special about them. And he did have some understanding, because he was also a witness to when Allah used to say that, okay, Noor Muhammad Ali Muhammad, because he was watching that Noor as well. But then that desire took him and he said, I shall make your good people, your virtuous people, astray from your right path, from Sirat al-Mustaqim. I shall attack them from the front, from the back, from the right and from the left. And you do whatever. He did not say that. But the missing link, but he did a concealed statement as per hermeneutics had. They said that you do whatever you do, I'll do whatever I do. So then again, when Allah listened to that claim, he said, okay, you don't understand it. So when Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the year 621 AD, I always, last year I said that I use not Hijra calendar because that confuses us. Okay? Because after every 33 Hijra years, 1 year is, 33 Gregory years, 1 year is added. 33 Gregory and 34 Hijra years. So I use the historical facts in AD Al-Nabi. In 621, you all know that the Prophet Muhammad Mustafa went to Asra. Okay? He went to Miraj, 621 AD. And when he went at Sidrat al-Muntaha, then there was none between the created and the created and the creator. There, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was welcoming, and there also, this incident, Allah said, first of all, that I have called you here also to explain to you that when I was saying Inni alamu ma la ta'lamun, the entire philosophy of Noor and Zulm, the entire philosophy of knowledge and ignorance was based on my claim Inni alamu ma la ta'lamun. And O my Prophet, O my Habib, when I made that counterclaim that, okay, you do whatever you do, Satan, Inni alamu ma la ta'lamun. You say bloodshed and transgression, violation, killings, okay, even, but I will create certain people. The manifestation of my Noor, that they will be against that. So your claim would be negated itself. You say bloodshed, they will prevent the bloodshed. You say the killers, on the contrary, they will give their own lives for me. Why? Just to fulfill my claim. So Muhammad and Ali Muhammad, they fulfilled Allah's desire, Allah's claim. Only on the basis of Muhammad Ali Muhammad, Allah made that claim. That Satan, what you are saying, I have the counter mechanism for that. So he created a defense mechanism and named that defense mechanism Muhammad Ali Muhammad. Okay. So with that, but Satan said, not even here. You have created Adam, you have created Eve now. So I will definitely, I'll start my first. I'll open I'm off the mark. I'll be off the mark, scoring my first run by inciting Qabil to kill Habil. So that was the first incident. Then Allah said to Iblis, who is Yasfikud Dima? Who is the fasad, who is the fitna? So he was negating himself while doing that. But Allah had given his words, I give you field, level playing field. So when Adam and Eve and the generations started, Habil and Qabil and further on, there, I don't want to go into details. But here again, Satan, he said, now you have chosen, now you have appointed Adam. So now what I am doing is that I shall make astray them as well. So he basically, he tried to make them astray to Adam and Eve. فَأَزْلَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَنْهَا فَأَخْرَجَهُمْ مِنْ مَكَانٍ. From the Jannah, from the heaven, he got them out. So he definitely put them astray. So ostensibly, apparently, that was success of Satan. But in actuality, it was not. So again, Allah Ta'ala mentions defense mechanism. And He defines, again, He defines hermeneutically. So He says, Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Baqarah, verse number 257, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, it's the end of Ayat al-Kursi, our complete Ayat al-Kursi. Allah waliyul lazina amanu yukhrijuhum min az-zulumat ila an-nur. Wallazina kafaru awliya'uhum at-taghut yukhrijuhum min an-nur ila az-zulumat. So Allah here compared. Now again I said the virtue and the vice being compared. In all the various phases of history, in all the time to time. So whatever we have. So in here, Allah defined that okay, you got your constituency, you got your voters, so you will have your disciples, you have your followers, but your followers again. Now I'm coming back to the same philosophy, Nur and Ilm. So Allah said, your followers, as you are trying to take your follower towards Zulumat ila Nur. I gave Nur, but you are taking them from Nur to Zulumat. Whereas Muhammad Ali Muhammad, my defense mechanism, my Nur, and those I get on the basis of whom I say, in the other they will take people from Zulumat towards Nur. So this carried on even today. Now, in the light of that, like I said, towards conclusion, we will explore, we will touch upon the questions. Very big question, academic question. Somebody can say to us, for example, when you join your degrees in social sciences, and when you're discussing comparative study of religion, political science, and then somebody can say, all right, the existentialist, Schopenhauer, Immanuel Kant, Hobbes. So they have discussion. Like my friend Robert Gleaves, he put this question to me in 2015. That when Allah knew Muhammad Ali Muhammad, they were His Nur. So why didn't He protect them? Why didn't He protect, Muhammad Ali Muhammad from the fitna of Bani Umayyah? Why Muhammad Ali Muhammad, Muhammad was not protected from Abu Lahab and obviously Abu Sufyan. Now about Abu Lahab, which say, we have the belief that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Surah Yasin, the last few verses, Innama amruhu iza arada shay'an an yaqula lahu kun fayakun. So when Allah says kun, the things to become. Okay, He does not have to bring the substance and the construction material and building. He said kun and things to become. Okay, so when Allah says in Surah Lahab, oh, Abu Lahab, may your hands get broken. So when Allah says that, then his hands must be broken. So the history gives again, hermeneutics and history comes from Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam. Now Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam, before the mundane appearance of Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, so he was the defense mechanism. He was the Nur at that time. He was the manifestation of Nur. Not like Masumeen 14, but in his own capacity. No, Nur is basically light. This is a white light, that's a red light, but all these are lights. They are different properties, different colors of lights. So, Abu Talib is Dawat al-Zul al-Shira. When we discuss, the Iranian, they discuss that Dawat al-Zul al-Shira. And the masculinity and the bravery of Hazrat Talib alayhi salam, comparing them with another event that occurred about 200 years before Hazrat Talib. So that was Rustam and Sohrab. So they consider everybody powerful like Rustam and Sohrab. So their interpretation that historically, the Iranian scholars, they say that when the Prophet was describing and he was opening, revealing what Allah said, okay, now you are free to reveal my message. And Dawud is al-Shia, again and again. This guy, Abu Lahab, was very tall. He was 7 feet. If you describe his physical properties and his physical appearance, he was 7 feet tall. Tallest of all the brothers, all the sons of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib. So he was talking and he was interrupting. He was not letting the Prophet make his message reach the audience. So he was, and Hazrat Abu Talib alayhi salam said to him, brother, you sit down now, don't disturb. Let him say. You will have your time, you will have your say. Let him complete. And again he was standing. And on the third time, after third warning, what Hazrat Abu Talib did was, he put his two thumbs on his neck. I mean, these people who are trained in acupuncture or physiotherapy, they understand they are very sensitive nerves. Doctor, there are very few sensitive nerves here. So those nerves, if they are pricked or if they are hit with a particular angle or with the force, and they become dead. And when they become dead, your body is paralyzed. So this ayat was revealed after that. So sometimes Muhammad Ali Muhammad and even their beggars, Hazrat Abu Talib, sometimes they act something, and that is described in the following ensuing verse. Sometimes a verse is revealed and they act accordingly. So sometimes verse comes first, sometimes action comes first. So with that ayat, tabbat yada Abi Lahab. So after that, his body was paralyzed with those thumbs. And after that, Abu Lahab, both hands went paralyzed. How is it possible when Allah says tabbat yada and he is not paralyzed? So the power of Allah, like I said, interpretation, the transfer of power. Some powers of Allah were transferred to Hazrat Abu Talib for good reason. Because Allah is Rabb, if He is giving an opportunity of Abu Talib to feed Muhammad, when he is hungry, give him food. When he is without shelter, give him shelter. So obviously, there was a status of Abu Talib. And that status, hermeneutically, that status was as superior as Adam's status at that time was. So there, again, we will explore that, how Allah protected them. But then, they also said, Allah, we will not seek any support. Muhammad will not seek any spiritual support against Abu Lahab. Muhammad will take all his vicissitude. He will take hardships. He will tolerate. Because you have to give him the title, Rahmatul Lil Alameen. So he will tolerate. And Ali ibn Abi Talib, he will be embraced with the title, Imam al-Muttaqeen, Amir al-Mu'mineen. So obviously, with the passage of time, from tomorrow, I'll discuss that what battles Satan fought, what battles Satan, along with ignorance and along with tyranny, he fought before the advent of Muhammad Mustafa in Makkah. So tomorrow I'll discuss وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ.